Welcome back. It's episode 8 of Go Time with Leah Herbold and Todd Revis. Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
So our producer Karen went down and very nicely asked some guys to stop using their leaf blowers. And they're trying to get further away from the building. But hey, that's live TV. That's live radio. That's live stream.
Goes.
So we'll see how it goes. If that becomes a problem, then we'll just talk louder.
Yes.
And have more fun.
Scream.
So it is what it is.
Yes.
But welcome to episode 8. This is going by so fast.
Yes.
And so what we do is Leah and I are at Remax Go. She's the full-time trainer. She's an amazing trainer of real estate agents. And we try to pick a topic that we're also both licensed agents, have been doing it for about a decade or more each. And we like to find topics that will help agents get out of a rut, help them do better at their job, help them be better real estate agents and better people. And it's been a labor of love for us so far.
Yes.
So we picked a topic this week that we thought would help. And the title of it is called No Leads, Now What?
Now what?
And everybody's been in that situation, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't have anything in the pipeline. Like, what's going on? So what would you do? What would I do? So we started thinking about that. And we put together a little show for you today. And so we're going to start with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
if
if you woke up today with no leads, what would you do? Or if somebody came to you and said, okay, I'm struggling. What's going on?
So the first thing that I would do, and I have taught agents to do this, and I do this myself, is I would use your tools and call for sale by owners, which we call FSBOs. So you might have heard the word FSBO. You might have seen the sign in the yard, the red sign that says for sale by owner. And this is what I would teach, or I do teach agents to do. There's actually 7 steps to converting a FSBO. But one of the quickest ways to do this and to get leads, because we know that they want to sell their home, right? Scott tells us that all the time. We know they want to sell it. We just don't know why they don't want to use a realtor to sell.
Right.
It could be the price, right? It could be
the fees or something.
Fees,
they want to net as much as possible.
Right.
Which is smart.
They could have had a bad interaction before with an agent, maybe someone who didn't follow up. And so they're like, I'm never using an agent again.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes people are like, homes are flying. I'm hearing on the news about multiple offers. They're so easy to sell. So if I just put a sign there, it'd be gone.
Especially when agents post that I sold that house in a day.
Yeah.
That's like fuel for FSBOs.
Why do I need them?
Why do you need an agent, right? You can just list it yourself, and it's free to list it. It doesn't even cost anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of break that down. And there's a class that I teach on that and kind of show you all those ways. But one of the first ways that you can actually just go right now, and you can go to Zillow. If you don't have another lead source, Zillow, that word, right? Agents hate that word. But you can go to Zillow and just a regular Zillow, not your agent hub. And just like producer Karen is showing you right now, you can go down to buy and then go to FSBOs and then, or for sale by owner. The map is going to come up. You can pick your listing. And when you scroll down through the description, sometimes you have to open it up to more, but after that is their phone number for the for sale by owner. So you can call and set an appointment. You can host an open house. You can call. You're not going to call to say, those pictures are horrible and I want to sell your house and I can do it better than anybody else. No. There's actually steps involved.
Even if all that's true.
Even if it's true, right? We know that. But
it's just not a good approach. That's not a human approach. Like you don't call, oh, you're horrible, let me fix it. No, you have to build a relationship.
Yeah, that's like you calling someone and being like, let's get married. When you haven't even met me. Like, no.
You haven't earned the right.
Right. You got to date me a little bit, right? You're going to have to come up with some flowers or something. So we could do a whole show on that. Anyways, anyhow, you have to, of course, talk to them and build the relationship, build the trust, and then go in with, of course, gaining that listing. But the tools are right there in front of you for agents that maybe don't have a listing or don't have a contract right now or don't have a client.
Yeah. Scott has said something, our broker said something a few years ago that has stuck with me. And that is that everybody who has a for sale by owner sign in the yard is planning on moving.
Right.
Where are they planning on moving?
Going?
And so that's a good question to ask because it's disarming is the key here. We're trying to disarm them. We don't want
Right.
them to be mad at us because we're trying to help them, but they think we're just trying to get money from them. But if we can ask them where they're planning to go, we're like, well, there's this nicer neighborhood on the other side of town I want to go to. Well, maybe you could create a search for them and start sending them properties that
Right.
are coming onto the market or coming soon. So you can text them and tell them about it coming soon. It's amazing what happens to a seller when the right property presents itself.
Yes.
It lights a fire into them of motivation, and so they will get motivated. So, okay, fine, you sell my house. Tell me if I've got it priced wrong. Whatever we haven't talked about, let's go.
Yes.
So it's all about disarming them, building a relationship. Don't come at it for the money. Come at it for I want to help them, and
Right.
and eventually some of them will let you.
Yes. So there is a possibility for you to do today if you don't have anything going on or you want some more leads or, of course, closings in your pipeline. This is one of the tools that you can use.
You hear in our brokerage, you'll hear every Tuesday morning that Karen has supplied a list of FSBOs and expireds
Yes.
on our Facebook page. Some people may hear that every week and just kind of go, I don't know what that is. That's what that is. And
Yeah.
so there is a list there as well. And are
Red X
you heading
list.
into expireds? Then we can kind of
Yeah.
follow that up.
So the next thing would be your expireds or working expireds. And so Tanya here in our office is like the MLS queen, as we call her. She can show you how to set up a search on your MLS to show you how to get all of the expireds for that week. So every Monday I would come in and I would look up the expireds that had just hit the market, and then I would send them letters. There's different options that you can do. You can call them, which is what Todd was talking about, because there's phone numbers on the Red X list to call expireds. I would send them the MLS sheet, not the agent one, but the client one. And I would circle things that I felt that I needed to talk to them about. A lot of times they don't even know that their home just expired because the agent might have not given them the paperwork when they listed the house, so they don't know, or the client could have forgot, right?
And just in case you don't know, expired means that the listing agreement has expired. So that agent no
Done.
longer has the right to market that property because they don't have a contract with them.
Right. So it's fair game. You can go after it. I do the homework though and check and make sure it's not relisted.
Oh, right.
Because I don't want to call and be like, oh, wasting my time, right? But you can always say, well, you gave your agent 6 months. How about you give me 2 minutes?
I like the fact that you mail a letter because you know me, I'm not a big phone guy, but they're probably getting a lot of calls, and
Yeah.
so
It could be. That's the perception the agents think.
okay, maybe
Some
that's
people
me.
don't.
Some people don't. Okay, I always assume, I guess that
Yeah,
FSBOs are getting hammered, and they're like, stop calling me,
they're not.
and then expires, and maybe that's my preconceived idea that I have in my own head, which creates a barrier for me. That's why I don't like calling them.
Right.
Okay.
But I just happen to like doing the mail system. It's quicker if you call because then you could get an answer right then and there and get an appointment. But I tend to do the mail system. That's how I got 17 listings on one street, a subdivision, and it worked for me. So, and I teach that. So speaking of that, for expireds, once you do mail, I kind of do the 2-rule method for the mail.
Okay.
So I will, of course, hit the expireds and mail it out, but then I will go ahead and mail the same letter. And if you want this letter or this script, I can, of course, send it to you if you put in the comments that you want this. I have my kids crumple up the letter, the second letter, and then I flatten it out, and then I put it back in the envelope, and then on the envelope I write, "Don't throw me away this time." And that's how I got all of those listings. Now, it was over a year's time that I got the listings, but it did work. And everyone was like, yeah, I did throw away the first one. And it
It's
worked.
like it came out of the trash and jumped back in the envelope.
Right.
That's
And
funny.
honestly, my kids were probably just messing up my papers. And I was like, sure, go ahead. I got an idea. Let's just do
That's
this.
awesome.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, great idea. So that's what, if somebody came to you like, I need business now, what would you say? That's
That's
an
what I would say.
immediate mine to start going in and digging in.
Easy. You can get the phone number. You can call them. You can print it out here at the office. You can mail it. You just got to buy the postage. There you go.
Okay.
What would you do?
All right. So when I find myself in a place of no leads, or if someone comes to me wanting some advice, I fall back on one thing I heard from my broker, which was 5x5.
Mhm.
5x5 is, you know me, I'm a systems guy.
Yeah.
I don't do anything by motivation. I have to create systems and get going and just do the work. And so 5x5 is to do 5 things by 5 p.m. and pick what those 5 things are. You teach a class called 150 Ways, which is a joke around here because it's probably more than 150.
It keeps growing every time
But
I teach it.
Yeah, it's like 150 ways to get leads. And so there are over 150, maybe 200 ways to get leads. So you got to find those 4 or 5 that you are easy for you to do, that you possibly enjoy doing, or you learn how to make it a game and learn how to do it. So if you checked off these 5 things, these particular 5 things that I'm more apt to do every day, your life will change. So number 1 is marketplace ads, Craigslist, that kind of marketing. So get on there. It's free. Get on there and place a marketplace ad every day, at least one a day. And it will literally, if you systemize it, will take you 5 minutes, if that. And you will start getting people texting you. You'll get better at it as you go. Yeah. Number 2 would be do a CMA. Do a CMA every day. And even if it doesn't go to anyone, do a CMA. Find an address and do a CMA, but preferably do it to people you know. Your next door neighbor. You know, you're like, hey, I'm gonna do something, and you give it to them. You can even print it out and give it to them and say, I was just trying to sharpen my skills. I wanted to do this. That could lead to a conversation. Right. And that could remind them that you do real estate, and they might go, you know what, my mom was thinking about selling her house. So doing CMA a day is a great idea. Visit builder models, new homes. I love new homes. Yes. So on your way home, map out all the new homes in your area, the new home communities, and go by and meet the person that's working. What is their schedule? When are their days off? Who's there when they're not there? What's their cell phone number? I don't want to call an 800 number. I want to be able to text them and ask them questions. What are their current incentives? What are they paying realtors? What's their earnest money? I want to be an expert on that community. And then they'll get on my routine. Think of yourself as a pharmaceutical rep and they're a doctor. So you're going to make the rounds on them, right? So when you become an expert at that, it also gives you pictures that you can take and videos that you can do for other things. But like marketplace ads, right? Like every time you go visit a new builder, you've got new fodder for your next marketplace ad. Okay, so text and calls fear. The most powerful tool that you have is right in your pocket, and that is you've got 1,000 or more people in there. Text somebody, hi, text somebody, happy birthday, text somebody something, call somebody, especially older Americans. If you call an older American, an aunt or an uncle or someone in that age group that they probably retired, they're sitting around maybe wishing somebody would call them so they could just have a nice conversation. And I've done that where, you know, and you can end up talking to them for 15 minutes and they're so blessed by that phone call and it wasn't salesy. I might not even brought up real estate. They might ask me how things are going. And I might mention that the fact that I'm in real estate, but I didn't ask them if they want to buy or sell their house. It doesn't have to be like that.
Be a friend.
It's just being a friend, being a good person and brightening their day. And they're going to like you more, trust you more, support you more. So just, you'll be surprised if you say call 3 people a day out of your phone that you haven't talked to in a while. It'll change your life too, because whatever that not dopamine or serotonin, but there's a chemical that is released in your brain that makes you feel good when you make someone else feel good. Yes. Right. And it makes them feel good. So do that. Who are you saying hi to?
They said hello.
Oh, hello, Facebook user. All right. So yeah, there are several people saying hi from Houston, baby. Hey, y'all should go to, there's a restaurant called the Blind Goat. If you haven't heard of the Blind Goat, check it out.
I haven't heard of it.
It's called the Blind Goat. I've heard amazing things about it in Houston. Okay. All right. And then one social post. We have some agents in our office that are very successful, and I always see them on Facebook. People wonder, does that really work? It does. I know there's a certain agent in Houston that does 2 a day, and they're starting to show closed, just listed.
But they were posting just listed or just informational, get to know me.
Building their personal brand.
And then now we see closed, funded, closed. So we love seeing those. Yeah. Melinda's watching and they do a great job of marketing. Good. She just had an amazing open house and was helping agents make videos and reels yesterday. and get out of their comfort zone, because we are our biggest critics sometimes. And so she was just pointing out, like, just get over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're on video. People see you. We see you. Just do it.
I heard it said that the first time is always going to be bad, but you
Right.
can't get to the 100th time until you do the first time. And so, yeah, that's good advice. And
True.
and
Look at us, episode 8.
episode 8.
Here we
look at us. We're not as bad.
We're not as
Yay.
bad. Or hopefully not. Y'all can let us know in the comments.
So for the first 15 minutes of this, if you go back and watch it, here, those are some ideas. Pick your 5 and do it by 5. And that's systematically creating some tasks for the day, because we all know it's like we wake up, I'm going to do real estate today. And then you're like, what do I do?
What do I do?
So have a plan. All right.
But you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is we can give you all the tools, but if you don't go out there and do it, then you're not going to be successful. It's not going to happen. The only difference between you and somebody else is what they do during the day.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about,
Yes.
we like to kind of end our segments with industry news, things that are going on in the market. And so I'm going to go out of order here because I want you to talk more, because I've just talked for like a million minutes. But let's talk about, you were bringing up to me, we were chatting on Tuesday or Wednesday about this, like why realtors are happy with their broker, or why they choose a brokerage, or why they leave and go to another brokerage. What are the things we think it is, and what are the things it really is?
Right. I will say the grass is not greener on the other side. Some people say that all the time. It's probably a septic issue. That's like my funniest meme that's going around right now. But yes, I did see a TikTok, and it was about choosing your broker and why you choose this broker and what makes you stay. And the agent was a RE/MAX agent, but she was just saying how the value of your brokerage and how important it is that you can pick up the phone and call your broker or your staff and get an answer to a question that is a legal question, it's a contract question, it's something that you need to know, instead of all of the fun, glamorous stuff, which is all great. And it's all fun to do all of that stuff, but really it's about the value that your brokerage brings you, and that you can trust that your broker is going to answer the phone.
That's great. I watched the same video, and I was thinking about
You
this.
did?
I think there's 2 different ways of looking at it. One is, you're an established agent, you're writing contracts, you need that kind of support, best practices, all that. There's also agents that are newer, or they haven't done it in a while and they're brand new. So that training, mentoring, early help is what I've heard it called, where they bring people along, help them write that first contract, help them with things like we're doing here to help them get more prospects and to help them talk to people. What we that have been doing this a long time might consider basic, but that's where this brokerage I think is great, because we have all that really high level legal and contract help, but we also have, hey, if you've never done it, hey, we were there too, so let's help you get over that hump. But it goes back to what you said a second ago. You got to show up and say help. You
got to tell people.
It's real easy to just get lost at home and not do anything, and so ask for help. And if you can't get that help, change brokers and find a help.
True.
Support, I think, is all of that kind of encompasses support. I think that's the most important thing.
That's the value for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Other industry news.
And we love our brokerage. And we love our broker.
Well, we're not, and that's not, we're not recruiting right now.
No,
we're obviously,
I was just throwing that in there.
we've mentioned our broker several times. So Jared James is one of my favorite listens on TikTok or social media. His Jared James Today, or whatever it's called, his podcast. He just has some great insight. He was a good realtor. He's been there, done that. So when I believe him when he says things. So one of the things he just said was 72% of the buyers in 2023 that paused their home search are coming back in the market now. So that it was rates that caused them to wait. They're like, we're just going to put it on the shelf for a little while and wait. Now rates have been fluctuating from the high 5s, mid to high 5s to mid to high 6s. That's more digestible, palatable for people. And so they're starting to enter that market. Well, add that to the people who are already coming into the market naturally because of whatever reason, they're coming. And here we are.
Income tax.
And job changes, divorce, all the reasons people move, people are more likely to move and buy, not rent. So that means it's time to get the buyers off the shelf that you are working with, because those buyers are about to have more competition. Because prices aren't going down. We see that. The stats back that up. We talked about that last week. Listings are moving. And so that means there's not going to be as much inventory, and prices are going to keep going up as long as there's not very much inventory. So it's time for buyers to get off the fence and make that decision and grab it. They can always refinance if it does miraculously go in the low 5s or high 4s, but let's focus on, and also, of course, there are tools that especially new builders have, and we also have through other mortgage companies where you can buy down the rate, things like that, use incentives. So it's just really also prepare yourself, get your systems ready for writing multiple contracts, because you are going to have more opportunities to do that this year. So be ready.
Be ready.
So 72% of those buyers are coming back, and that could flood the market with buyers, which will make prices go up.
Right.
That's awesome.
It happens, right?
Yeah, I just think it's fun. It's something. It's hope. Let's keep the hope and keep preparing for sharpening the axe, so to speak, so that we're ready when all of a sudden those buyers start flooding in.
Yes. Agree.
Okay, so we added a couple of cool things.
What do we add?
And this is on for this week. It's on you because you know way more about this than I do. But we thought we'd throw in as we wrap up an app of the week, a suggestion by us that what is a cool app that realtors should be using. And
so yes, my favorite app that I use every single day, besides Canva, because that's different, would be CapCut.
Oh, what's CapCut?
And so CapCut is a marketing tool or marketing app that there's a free trial, but then you would pay for it. And basically it can make your marketing videos just amazing. So you can just plug and play pictures or videos that you make, and it turns it into this amazing TikTok or amazing reel, and you don't have to do the work.
So it can make you look like you're a graphic designer, or you're a video marketing
video
genius.
editor, genius. Yeah, with the music, with all the tools, with all the transitions. It does it all for you.
Wait, so I don't think I'm very good at all that stuff. Can I use this app? Like, will I be able to figure it out?
Yeah, you just go, it's a search, and you just say real estate at the top or whatever your theme is, open house, whatever. And then it tells you how many videos you need to put in there or how many photos. And
then it puts it together for you to then put on social media.
Right.
Does it know, like, I want this to be a TikTok video or this to be an Instagram reel?
It's not branded, so it'll come down, and then you can just upload it to Reels or to Instagram.
Cool.
I mean, to TikTok.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so that's just a little helpful tool. If you don't know anything about CapCut, or if you've been trying to do videos and you're frustrated, like how to make it really look cool like you see on social media, CapCut.
Yes.
Check with Leah if you need more help on that. Don't check with me.
And then, I don't know, did you have anything?
Yeah, well, no.
What's happening?
Oh, did we skip what's happening?
Yeah, I skipped me.
Oh, I think it was subliminal because I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl.
I do. So, what's happening? Yes, we're going to talk about the game of the year. And I know y'all all watched it. I'm pretty sure y'all watched it. So
I will say that 123 million people watched it.
It was, what was it? The largest game watched since
ever.
Something else happened.
Well, largest Super Bowl watch.
Yes, largest Super Bowl. But besides landing on the moon, like it was between those two things. It was the highest.
Interesting.
There's something there.
Well, I think it was probably because of Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers, are so good
that they lost, and the Chiefs won. Go Taylor's boyfriend. So there's that. But yes, that's old news. We do have some new news. I mean, that's really good news. But we have the San Antonio Rodeo.
Yeah.
Let's rodeo San Antonio.
Let's rodeo San Antonio. I've been kind of blanking on that. I mean, Houston just had their big rodeo.
Did they?
And yeah, theirs is always right before ours. Like the month, like it goes through January, and then all that whole show moves to San Antonio. So Houston's like tired of rodeo, but we're just now getting into it. I can't even. I forgot about it. And so who's playing?
Well, let me remind you, who's playing?
Who's playing this weekend?
That comes right in for the lineup. So tonight is Cheap Trick. They're playing.
Oh my gosh. Talk about old.
I've never heard of them, but
yes, you have.
Maybe I have. I don't know. I have to listen to
I'll play you a song.
All right. Saturday is Brooks and Dunn. So that's a really good one.
That's a throwback.
Sunday is Randy Rogers. That's a good one. He's a local here in New
Braunfels. He lives here
Braunfels.
in New Braunfels, yeah.
And then also another one, and I need to phone a friend right now, my friend who speaks amazing Spanish, because I don't know if I'm going to get this right. I know. I should have practiced this, but I didn't.
I can help you. I grew up in San Antonio.
Okay. I don't know that word. Noche
That means
Okay.
night.
Noche del Vaquero. They are
The
playing
night of the
Sunday.
cowboy.
Oh, the Night of the Cowboys. They're playing on Sunday. And then John Michael Montgomery is playing Monday, and I will be there
Oh,
for John
that
Michael.
auction song. John
Yeah.
Michael Montgomery.
Yes. Can you sing it? No.
I always get
Okay.
it confused with that. Here comes pride in the backstretch, but that's a different song. But
Yeah.
I always get confused. Hey, little pretty
So,
lady, won't you give me a
that
sign?
one.
I'll do
There
anything
you
to
go.
make you mine all mine. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a cool song.
So, question: who would you like to see at the rodeo if you were going to go?
out of all those,
No, just in general.
oh,
Like, who would you like to see besides Taylor Swift?
you're saying it's a foregone conclusion that I would want to see Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! If Taylor Swift was in San Antonio, I would drive to the moon.
San Antonio.
The moon.
To see her. Okay. We'd all have tickets here for sure. Okay, who would you like to see at the rodeo though?
Man.
Or
My wife really loves Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
that's a good one, Nancy.
Yeah, I know. She's loved them
It's
for
Your Love.
30
Is that her
years.
favorite song?
Just anything they do. And so if they were together,
Yeah.
that would make her year, right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
So anything from the 90s, like Trisha Yearwood, Shania Twain,
Yeah.
Garth Brooks, all those
Shania was
groups.
just here.
Yeah. All those groups that because I'm 50 something, and so those are all the country songs that we were dancing to in
I
our
was
20s.
dancing to this too. Well, yeah. So if you get out, go to the San Antonio Rodeo. It's right up the road, and good marketing, good videos. We talked about that before. Definitely.
Cool.
I would want to see Morgan Wallen. You didn't ask, but I would want to see Morgan Wallen.
Oh, I didn't even ask. I think I knew it was going to be
throwing
Taylor
me
Swift.
under the bus. I would want to see Taylor Swift, but I don't think she'd be at the rodeo. But I think Morgan would.
I don't think it could hold her crowd.
Mm-mm. Not in a million years.
All
I
right.
don't
I
even
don't wanna
know
talk about her
what
anymore.
Scott is posting. Okay. Yes. All right, guys. Well,
Okay, so last thing, I want to make a suggestion, and that is that I love podcasts.
yes.
I'm definitely a guy in the car doing mundane tasks where it doesn't require a lot of thought. I love listening to podcasts. It feeds me, and I retain some of that stuff. And so I'm going to make a recommendation of what podcast I think anyone should be, any realtor should be listening to, or lender, or entrepreneur in general. And the first one I'm going to ever recommend is going to be the Brian Buffini, It's a Good Life.
Yes.
Some people love Brian Buffini, some people don't. We talk about him a lot because he has shaped who I am as a person, as a realtor, as an entrepreneur. And so it's always encouraging. It's always positive, and kind of like Caleb, it's positive, encouraging.
Yes.
But like he got it down to where he does 2 episodes a week. There's a 10-minute quick cut on Tuesdays usually, and then a full length, like 25-30-minute podcast on Thursdays. And I really love it because it's bite-sized, digestible. I can listen to it on the way to work, and it may just be a quick cut of a really good piece of a podcast that he did, and it just gets me going like a cup of coffee in the morning, and it gets my brain in a creative place. So if you're driving along, or going for a walk, take your brain for a walk. Take your brain to the gym.
It's a good one.
Metaphorically speaking, and feed it some good stuff. And Brian Buffini is always up for helping you have a good life.
Yes. Top of the morning to you.
And also to you, or something like that. All right. Thank you guys. Episode 8 is in the books, and we didn't have major leaf blower problems today.
Hopefully they didn't lose their
we're
jobs.
thankful for Karen for going down there and lovingly asking those guys to do something else for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And so thank y'all for coming. We have a lot of people, the same people coming on and watching us and supporting us. Please share this. If you're on YouTube, please follow it. If you can go to YouTube, hit follow, because the more that happens, the more traction we get, more people will know we're having this. And we just thank you for caring what we have to say, because we're doing this purely from a place of wanting to help people get better.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.